with the latest county hot topics, news, business, and events. It's time for Spotlight on Cumberland County. Now let's join our host, Commissioner Director Douglas A. Albrecht.
Welcome. My name is Doug Albrecht. I'm the County Commissioner Director, and this is Spotlight on Cumberland County. And I'm sitting here with our CFO and our Treasurer, Jeff Ridgeway. Should I spell it or?
Yeah, it's Ridgway.
And when we're doing this, the idea is that I felt like we should introduce some of the cogs of the wheel of county government. And any cog that's the biggest cog that makes county government go is the person sitting next to me, our CFO. Nothing happens without going through that office and this person. So I thought people should know what the procedure is to create the budget. And everyone hears about it. Everybody hears about the end result of it. That's where you get your taxes. What goes into creating that? So that's where we're at. And before we get started, I just wanted to point out that, we'll talk about it as we go. So, Jeff, you want to say hello and go from here? So,
hello, it's me, the biggest cog in the county offices. I have it on my door, COG and CFO, right now.
That's what you should do.
I've had the pleasure of serving as the county CFO for 1 year now. We went through one budget year so far, and we've already started on the next one for 2024.
The first one took a lot of whittling, but we got it down that we had zero tax increase. It's always tough, but as long as it's justified, but that's the goal, to figure out, balance everything out. So why don't you tell me what, I guess you kind of said it, but what is as a CFO, what is your role for me and from the administration side of it? So
sure. So I am responsible for overseeing the finance department, purchasing, payroll, everything related to money in the county is under my jurisdiction, so to speak. So that results in making sure that everything operates efficiently, that we have controls in place to make sure that there's no misspending or doing anything non-compliant. So all of that falls under the responsibility of the CFO's office.
Many times during anything that has to do with money, there's a signature that's required, the signature of Mr. Ridgeway, to kind of sign off that there's money available to fund that, whatever it is to fund it. So and without his signature, it doesn't happen. So it normally doesn't get that far unless that starts the process. So why don't we? Actually, it's a great time because you're right in the middle of the budget season. So people see the end result, February, March, if everything goes well.
Correct.
But it really starts, it started in August you started?
August 1st it started. I'm thinking it needs to start July 1st next year.
You're telling me that you want to start earlier. So what do you do? If people say, how do you begin? What's the beginning point? So
I just make it up, Doug. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I figured. I was counting cards. I said, oh yeah, he's making it up. So
and this is for the benefit of all the listeners, viewers. So the process starts where we reach out to all the different departments. The departments are the one that provide the direct services to the residents. So
road department, human services, the
county clerk's
clerk,
office,
everything, board of elections, everything. So sheriff, prosecutor, everything. So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. I like the enthusiasm.
You like it?
So this year, August 1st, we reached out to all the departments and said, keep in mind what you want to do for next year. What are your goals? Are there any things that you've run into this year that we can find a way to work better next year? And then submit to me and the rest of the finance office what they would like to request in funding. After that, we then meet with them with administration, so the county administrator, deputy administrator, personnel director, and county council. And then as a team, we go through all their concerns, figure out what they want to do. If there's having that many minds at the table, then you can kind of come up okay, we see what you want to do here. Maybe this is a different angle that you can approach it at. And then we go through to see, okay, well, this is what you've been spending. Do you necessarily need to do this? We can understand that this is something you want to do. Perhaps this is the way you want to get there. So right now, that's where we're at.
All right.
We've been...
So they have to justify every step of the way why they're requesting money, why they have the money. They just don't get it. They just don't. Here it is. Okay.
So that could be personnel if they want additional staff, requesting promotions for any staff. If there are new preventative maintenance contracts, like say you need the compressor to be checked every couple months. And then if they had any capital purchase, like if they wanted to get a vehicle or if they needed renovations to their building, this is their opportunity to present this to us. And that's where we're at. We received everything by September 15th, and now we're meeting with everybody, which should be done by the end of October.
So physically, you meet with every department to ask them whatever they put together. You don't just say, all right, it's done, thanks a lot. No, you actually meet with them to actually question it, go over, or have them tell you why. I know there's different things we concentrate on, and I know you get the kind of orders from us above what we like.
Yeah, we got to meet with you guys too.
Yeah, yes, you do. But when do you think that process is normally done? And we're on a calendar year, right? Our budget.
Correct.
So, what do you think that meeting with the different departments? Like, remember you were saying you want to start earlier. Where are you going to end? What does that start?
So we should be finished meeting with all the departments at the end of October. At that point, I'll put together everything that we've discussed and make a recommendation to the Finance Committee. So the Finance Committee is comprised of 3 county commissioners that are responsible for reviewing the budget and making the recommendation to the full board. So municipalities may do something similar. They have their own finance standing committees that they review it. They may do a budget workshop where all the members of the township committee or city council get together and talk about it in public. There's not a lot of different ways that each town or county can approach it differently, but this is how we do it.
But this is how you put your spin on it, or is this how it's been done for as long as you can remember this procedure? So
since I've been with the county, it's been a unique circumstance because I started during COVID. So the 2020, 22, 21, I don't recall any budget meetings with any of the departments. And it used to be that if you didn't have an increase requested, then there was no reason to meet. Being relatively new in the position, I think, and making sure that you have a pulse on all the departments and what they're doing. Because sometimes just having a conversation with them for an hour discussing what they're doing, you come to find out oh, well, I didn't know that you did this. Oh, is there another way that we can approach it?
See, I like that because there are people, there are ideas out there, and I just left the ribbon cutting at the CC Tech for their new engineering thing. So I kind of gave marching orders that think big to a lot of these. Stop thinking small, think big, think of something to make you better, to get us out of where we're at, move us forward. And so if they do have a bigger idea or a better idea how to do something, and they want to try, they're going to run it by you. They're going to kind of say, hey, we really want to get here. We've recently purchased a new program, or we voted on it. It's going to be next 2 weeks from now, but for the CATS program. But they have asked for this because the other one is older, but this one is more user-friendly for the phone. To allow traffic movement through, to get people, they know where their buses are, they know it's coming. They also, hopefully we're merging the CATS with workforce development. So we have one bus running one direction instead of having 2 buses running the same direction for the 2 people or 1 person. It makes us more efficient. So that's the kind of thing that, it costs, it's got a hefty cost to it. But by doing this, we may get efficiencies we didn't know, which is fuel, driver time to the driver, wear and tear on the vehicle may be less because they threw out an idea, and I'm sure, and you were like, you understood what they were trying to shoot for, and it makes sense. And we'll look at other departments too, like that have ideas. How can I save or work more efficiently, and then save money by doing that? So that's why you meet with people and talk with what's their goal. So
because the departments are the ones that really interface with the public and provide services, and my department's role is to make sure that they can do what they need to do to better serve the residents of the county.
How do residents did they see any part of this process? Did they? This is not really part of what they see at all, except for input into. Well, like you said, they see who they deal with. They can make suggestions, right?
Yeah, there's so it depends the level of involvement that the resident really wants to get into. So if they check the agendas, they can see the bill list, what we're spending money on, what contracts we're awarding. Right now, nothing. As this is all internal discussions for the departments, but eventually it becomes a public document.
Yes.
And then I present everything to the public and the commissioners, and they can make comments. So every county budget, every county audit is, or every county debt statement is all public on our website. There is a required public process whenever we issue debt. There's a public process whenever we introduce the budget. And then there's usually some relevant public process whenever we award contracts. So like bids, for example, for construction, it's a public opening. Anybody can attend it if they want to.
And that's important, that this whole process, the transparency, or this whole process, maybe not when we're talking about the actual budget, but eventually it does come out front to understand what people are asking for, what they're what we're doing with the health department or the human resources, or if we're hiring more people, that you would know what's going on at every meeting is out front and discussed. Hopefully, and if we get good questions for our people. They do know, do know, and they question us if there's an issue. But I like that, because by questioning us, it actually sometimes makes us think, well, why do we do that? Is our reason sound? It may not sound like that all the time with me, but yeah, is our reasoning sound? Are we making the right choice? By people being involved, it works, and this goes for any government. We're at the county, but the local level, all the way up to state, that if people don't pay attention, things happen. The more people pay attention, I think it makes better government. So, what things are included in the budget? Like everything has to go through the budget, right?
So what the budget is honestly, it's a expectation for what we think that we're going to spend. So ultimately, it is an estimate. So what do we have in there? We have personnel. So we budget by position. So if we have a salary guide, we have like 17 unions.
What's it mean by the salary guide? What's that mean?
So if you're in a collective bargaining agreement with the county, with your bargaining unit, there may be a salary guide where your position, if you start at a certain step, you know where you're going to be year after year. So for me, for budgeting, I know what the person currently makes, and I know if they stay in that position, what they're going to make, and how to budget 5 years in advance. Same thing like fringe benefits. So we're always going to have that in our budgets. So it relates to how much the person makes, because there's going to be Social Security on that. There's going to be medical withholdings on that, depending on what kind of coverage that they're going to elect for medical. So between salaries and fringe benefits, that's always in there, because you need your workforce.
As a business owner, absolutely, it's calculated that because that's a cost. It's a cost, no matter, you may not be paying it to the individual, but they're receiving it down the road, the vacation time, you have to pay for that, all those fringe benefits, which they're entitled to, but it still has to be paid for. So you have to account for it in the budget to pay for it. Sick time, I don't know, there are many other things. Just the government taxes you got to take out for that. You have to account for it. I like this. I always ask for this special spreadsheet that you use that continuously updates when you change something. Yeah. The what if scenarios. I love that. Someday maybe you have to take that and kind of bottle it so people can follow along.
So I get warnings on my computer at home whenever I open it. It'll say like this file size is not operating efficiently because it's too large. And I'm like, well, I'm not reducing it. It's just going to keep going.
Out. Yeah. I understand that, because the QuickBooks that I use, it's from 1998 when I started, so it continuously, and I had to upgrade from the regular with the Enterprise because it had more room to hold, and I'm not getting rid of it. I don't consolidate it, so I understand that. So, but
and if I may, there are a couple other things included in the budget too, not just personnel, but there are vendor contracts. So like HVAC maintenance, software maintenance, anything that you pay an outside contractor to do. There's our capital improvements, which then come in the form of debt that we have to pay year after year.
Capital improvements such as building the building, the upgrade the roof, or the anything we would borrow for to fund to upgrade. That could be many things, but it's a constant balance, right? That you, I noticed when I first got on the board that there's a kind of a guesstimate how much debt is going to be paid off, and then how much is going to be put back on, and they have a kind of a rule of thumb. I'm pretty. I don't like debt so much. You know that. I get a little upset.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, so that's good. We think alike. So, but it is. Sometimes you have to spread it across because you just don't have it. We can't burden the taxpayer all at once when we have to buy a truck, fix a building. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else. Major
old
investment.
courthouse. So the courthouse, right? We just did. We leveraged it with a historic preservation grant, and we just did the cupola, and then some other areas from the 1909 section. So, and we always seek grant funds whenever we can. So if we can do something with a grant through a Department of Transportation grant, like Mary Aiken Drive,
and Mary Aiken Drive just got done. So, and now we got to thank you for the mayor about that. So it's nice. So.
So we always try and leverage grant funds whenever we can to minimize how much debt we issue. We don't authorize more debt than we pay down in a given year. So we're constantly trying to bring it down.
It's a balance, and I know you kind of keep that balance in track, and you always point it out to me where we're at, and which I appreciate. So.
We can't do it.
Yeah, that's about it. You can't do it. You're not doing it. We do have investments, right? That
yes.
We try to for. You always have to be thinking about the rainy day. We have a big part. What's it called that we put aside? The reserve, I guess. There's a name for it. It's commonly referred to as surplus. But from the accounting world, we call it fund balance. Yeah.
So that really originates from if we get more money in than we expect in a given year, and if we spend less than we expect to. So ultimately, you then use that balance to plug into the budget to try and bring that some relief to the taxpayers, because ultimately, we do collect some fees. So by statute, like the county clerk, she charges fees for recording deeds and such. The surrogate
office,
sheriff.
Yeah.
So we do get some money in just from regular fees that we're required to collect. And then the balance, where does it usually come from? It has to come from someplace. This is the taxpayers. This is where every citizen should, or I'm not saying they should, but they could take an interest in what the county's budget is, the municipality's budget is, to see.
Yeah, because it's most of the time the budget is introduced. It's that thick, and people kind of get lost in it. But it's a document that people should ask questions and narrow down what they don't understand. You can't ask 1,000 questions, but just to get an understanding how it's put together. That's the purpose of the spotlight, is to kind of show who's responsible at the county, and that we're putting this together. But it's not Jeff's responsibility. He puts it together. It's really the commissioner's responsibility to ultimately say, this is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to go, and here's why. And here's why we made decisions on it. You mentioned grants and stuff. I noticed Cumberland County gets its fair share. Are we good at it? Going after grants?
Yes, and I will definitely give kudos to the prosecutor's office. They are very aggressive in grants. Our engineering office is very aggressive in grants. We receive a lot for the size of the county that we are.
Just because we're constantly looking at the things available, and we're proactive and we go after it.
See, and there are some that are routine that we just get every year. It's not really a competitive process for us, but there are a lot that we go after that are new, that are pretty substantial.
We're getting a signal that to take a break, so we'll take a break and we'll come on back. And I wish there was a phone line you could call in, but we'll try to answer some other questions. So thank you.
I can call in.
You can call in.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services, including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
With the latest county hot topics, news, business, and events. It's time for Spotlight on Cumberland County. Now let's join our host, Commissioner Director Douglas A. Albrecht.
Well, welcome back. I'm sitting with Jeff Ridgeway, our CFO and Treasurer of the Cumberland County government, and we're just talking about something that's probably, I invited Jeff because he's a certain way of saying it, but budgets and finance, most people gloss over, but when he comes aboard, he's kind of known that he kind of tells it in a story or tells it in a way that people are entertained. That's why I said, well, let's start off with Jeff, because the budget is actually the backbone of everything we do in this county. So what was it? We were, well, here's another relatively dry, but people should know that there's a thing like everyone in this county pays somewhat maybe a different rate to the county. And that is done for what reason? Why is Laurel Lake or Lawrence Township pay a different rate than Vineland, or Millville pays a different rate than Upper Deerfield? All 14 municipalities might have a different rate. So why?
Well, the why is just because the state made this the process.
So blame it on the state, guys.
I will.
Throw them under the bus.
Yeah, State Division Taxation, if you're listening. Shh. So when you could, like you said, you could be a resident in Vineland and then go over into Millville and look at your friend's tax bill and say, well, hold on, my county tax rate's this, but your county tax rate's that? That doesn't make sense, though. Why would you pay a different rate than we do? So the way the state looks at it, they say, okay, well, here's all the towns in your county. All right, let's say Vineland has like half of the total. So the state then says, okay, well, then Vineland gets half of the county tax levy. So if we have a $100 million tax levy, then Vineland gets $50 million assigned to it. So then Vineland then takes that and divides it all of the assessed values. So that when you get your tax bill, you'll see what your assessed value is. When the county comes up with those totals of what the total property values are, it's not that. They do what's called an equalization. So the state Division of Taxation issues every year what they call the equalized ratios. So that, in their mind, brings everything from what is assessed to what is market. So if you're like right now, housing market is up there. So people are selling their homes much higher than what they would have 5 years ago. So they adjust it, and then depending on how well your town does in relation to other towns, could dictate whether or not you get an increase or decrease, regardless of if the county does nothing. So We could theoretically,
which we did,
like this year.
Yeah,
this year is a good example.
It was a good zero there. So, there were some really big increases in certain areas, and then there's a real big decreases in certain areas, which was stunning. With Deerfield and compared to Hopewell Township was a big change between both of them. So.
Yep. My senior accountant in my office is from Hopewell, so he's looking at the rate and he's like, "What'd you do, Jeffrey?" I'm like, "I didn't do anything."
But see, that's important because people should understand it gets dictated to you what this is going to be, and you just have to. That's how it is, and you have no say. Does the state? How do they get their information? The state.
So they'll look at market trends, so like property sales. So if again, it'll be like on a 2-year look back. So if for this year would have been 2 years prior that they look to see what the property values were selling for back then, and then they provide an adjustment.
Okay, and we have, because we talked earlier about our budget process, we have to come up with a number that we need. Well, this is what our budget will be. And then from the number, you back into how much we're going to collect from each community to pay taxes to fund the county government.
Correct.
Now, what we're saying, and this is what we're spotlighting on, is that I just want to kind of say my commissioners and this board have gone to great lengths to kind of be as transparent as possible, having this quit broadcasting at our meetings. Our website is technically we're working on, but we're trying to get better. That we have actually moved our meetings from out of Bridgeton to different communities. We've gone to Morris River Township, we've gone to Down Township, we've gone to Upper Deerfield, we've gone to Millville. We have had our meeting. That was the last meeting was in Millville, and we're going to continue to do that. We're actually the next meeting coming up. We were working towards Deerfield or Lawrence Township. Logistically, it didn't work out, but we'll be back. We'll keep going with that. I find that you may not get a lot of people out, but they're different people because some people don't like to travel. It's at night, but they can get their local hall and come to a meeting and listen to what we're doing. It's made. I think it's. The county is not always right here. It's actually the county's everywhere, and you should know what we're up to because it's very important. As we just talked, we tax, and it's your taxes we're collecting. You should know what we're up to, what we're just our business. You should know. With that, I mean, and I'll say this: I've hosted radio programs, and I think we focus on our county jail, which was a big issue when I was running the jail. The county budgeted bonded for $65 million, and we did with the idea before my time, that we would build a new jail with that bonding. I think it came out to about $47 million, and the difference was to fix up our old part and tie it to the courthouse. It didn't happen, so we're moving on. And we have kind of started working on fixing the building that we're in, buying us some time. We send our inmates, a lot of them, to Hudson County. We're working with Salem a little bit right now, maybe bigger in the long run, but right now Salem, they're looking at send them there so they're closer. We have done, which I'm big on, you fix what we got. If you fix what you got, it doesn't break down, or you don't have a major breakdown, which costs more in the long run, or that emergency that costs more in the long run if you just maintain your facilities. It initially might be money, but in the long run, it's cheaper because you're just fixing the little things. The jail had the HVAC system, the front door didn't lock. The shower's leaked. We're fixing that stuff, and it's in-house. A lot of it's in-house. We've farmed out stuff that they can't handle. But now, actually, I went in that building about 2-3 weeks ago, and it actually looks like a building you actually don't. It makes you feel comfortable. You can see the morale of the people working there go up. That says it all. Forget the building being painted or the things being fixed. The morale of the COs and the staff working there says everything. That it's okay to come to work. It's okay to come to work, and it's a place that's not that there's a joy being there, but they at least feel comfortable that we are trying to do stuff and work on this. And that's the annex to the new part of the jail. We have a director that's fantastic, Chuck Albita, and we've also brought a warden in just recently. So we're really organizing, trying to get better. It's not the end all; it's just in the middle of it. But we hosted that on the radio program to kind of talk about, see where we're at. We in this program, the Spotlight, we're going to try to focus on different parts of our county government. This is the idea. I wish I could say, could you call in and ask Jeff the questions, but I'm just trying to think other things to ask him. But I know that I pick up the phone and we're talking about the mics are not good in our days in our building. They're not very good. Well, the person I don't call IT. I don't call our maintenance. I call Jeff. Jeff, what do you think about our microphones? What can be done? Because it all starts with him. That all right? Can we fix them? What can we do? And he'll tell me so we go to the next step. While we're on commercial, I kind of said, well, let's look at it. Let's try to see what could be basic. Let's look at basic stuff. But at the end, it may be something we can't fix, something that has to be replaced. Well, again, I will come back to you and say, all right, is that in the budget? Do we have a place for that? Is there maintenance for it? Very important, because if people can't hear us talk, maybe they don't want to hear us talk, but if people want to hear us talk, or what we're talking about, they can hear us. It's very, very important. I wish I had known that we had this issue, but now we know, and we'll fix it. So, and I'll say this as we were coming to this, as I joked with you, we're talking about this. There's a process in the budget, and I was thinking the Schoolhouse Rock, the old I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. How that went through a process. It's the same thing, right? There's a process to budget money in the county, the funding, the pay our people, or to negotiate contracts, to settle contracts. Every step of the way, and you're involved with all that, right? Were you today? Tell me you were at a contract meeting today.
Yes, yesterday we had an internal meeting. Yeah.
Okay, so even insurance goes through you. So, with that said, is there any part of the county government you really don't touch?
No.
All right.
So I kind of deviate from my lane a bit too.
He says he's busy. I don't know why, but it's we recently passed at to various degrees what people believe in it, but I believe in it. The Middle Mile project is a starting point. Well, as we're talking about all the things that have to be done to comply with the requirements of this program, whose shoulders it falls on is Jeff Ridgeway, and he has been our go-to person to comply with all the requirements, and there are a lot. And probably 2 meetings a week? 2 meetings a week?
3
meetings a week. We're on the phone. I'm on some of them, not all of them as much as Jeff, but to just figure out what the compliance. Some calls, they just sit there waiting for us to ask questions, which is good. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have any questions, you're just sitting there and listen to maybe somebody else ask a question. But
every Tuesday is with every other grant recipient, and then every Thursday it's with our representative, just to make sure that he has a pulse on what we're doing. And then it's our own internal meeting with Salem County.
That's right. And Salem County is part of this. I believe that the Middle Mile project is going to probably push this county 20, 30 years ahead of where it's at now. Not above other counties, on par with other counties, but it'll make us competitive when we're going out to attract businesses to this county. You got to have good communication. It is the highway. That's why we have this phone in our hands. We have the technology that we use every day. Depends on the drive-by-wire vehicle. It's going to need communication if we're going to use it here in this county, and with that, this gentleman is the one that's actually kind of working on that to make sure we're on track. And with the result, when I say that, are we kind of on track with the?
I think that we're ahead of a lot of the other grant recipients, and this is very dry material. But
the budget was exciting, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know how you can listen to that and not be excited.
That's why he's our guy. So.
The grant required like a letter of credit, which for us as public entities that publicly bond, well, that doesn't apply to us. So we got a waiver. Not everyone got a waiver, so we're ahead of people because of that alone.
Wow. So I mean, there's many things we get involved with, but it's seldom we get told, well, you're ahead of the curve right now, which is great to hear. We just recently went out now the RFP process, right? Mm-hmm. We went out, set out for a consultant for a grants coordinator to help you kind of stay out compliance.
Yep.
But the end result, we're going to get to the engineer to draw up the design of this, and again, that goes through you.
Yep.
And as they design it, then we actually would receive. I guess we would spend money to go to the next step, look for the contractor to actually build the thing.
Correct.
And so we're plugging along, and month-wise, we're second month since we've done it, first month.
So technically, the grant started July 1st, even though we didn't accept it till the end of August.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We had a lot of discussions. We had to talk about that, but the bottom line is that we are moving ahead, and I think we're hoping that the end of October or early November we will actually accept whoever comes in the bids, and then we're rolling. Yep. And I know the meetings will get more intense while we're doing that. Not that they aren't intense now, but they'll get a lot more questions because you actually had to project the budget almost 6 months out, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-month expenditure plan, so it's July 1st to December 31st. So while contracts may be awarded, I'm taking the position that no money is actually going to be spent because nobody's going to invoice by the end of December for work they did in December. So for us to report that, it's easy. It's all zeros, and then just keeping them apprised of where we're at in the process.
So as we were talking about the budget, he has to kind of keep track of where we're at and where the money is because we will receive $24.1 million, and we will spend from money we borrow 4.7, I guess, is it roughly?
We set aside up to 4.2. 3 of that is what the Cumberland County actually would be encumbering for this. But
it's
there's an in-kind matching contribution to it too, but that's subject to go up or down depending on what the fair market value of the appraisals are.
And that is because we invested in our 700 system, and we were able, since we invested it and worked it, we're allowed to claim that in this project of our commitment to the next step of this deal. So I guess anything jump out of you besides that? Where'd you start from? How'd you get started this?
You want to know about the mistakes I've made?
Yeah, we'll get the mistakes real quick. So how do you get involved with being the CFO? And
I don't know how it happened. So I got out of college. I was interned at a couple accounting firms. Then I got a job at one in Glassboro. His name was Nick Petroni, and we did governmental audits. Okay. So I'm going around so we had the Gloucester County audit. We did Upper Deerfield Township's audit for a while. So between Gloucester, Salem, and Cumberland, we had a bunch of clients. So then after that, I was there maybe 5 years, went to a different firm for a little bit up in Ocean County and Burlington County. And then from there, I was getting a little bit involved in Pittsgrove Township where I lived. And then next thing I know,
you hold office in Pittsgrove Township?
I did. Okay. Yeah, I did a term, and I'm good.
Just ask.
So I was exposed at that level. So I was a governmental auditor. So I had that exposure. I was a council member, so I had that exposure, and then I started working for Cumberland County at the end of 2019. And so I was kind of working in the finance office, managing purchasing, and then the previous CFO, Mr. Sineski, he left last year, and then I just kind of stumbled in.
Cursing us ever since. So.
I don't know what happened here. How did I do this?
All right, well, Mr. Ridgeway, it's a spotlight on you and how your office and how it functions in the county. And actually, it was appropriate to start basically with you because everything starts with you as we go. And I hope people have a little better understanding of the budget process of how people come to you, and ask for what they need to function, and how it eventually becomes the big thing. So I want to thank you for kicking this off. We have another guest after this, but I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. And if anybody that's listening ever has questions, they feel free to reach out to my office. It's not a problem.
All right, thank you. Take care.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as the national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Allen Associates is a family-owned and operated full-service agency, managing a broad base of clients in the New Jersey area. Allen Associates has been a leader in health benefits and financial services including health, prescription, life insurance, pension, 401k plans, and estate planning. With more than 60 years of experience and a staff of highly trained and dedicated professionals, Allen Associates is noted for its ability to build strong, long-term relationships with our clients and the communities we serve. Give them a call today at 856-692-2250. Allen Associates, your complete health and financial services, Vineland, New Jersey.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as the national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
With the latest county hot topics, news, business, and events. It's time for Spotlight on Cumberland County. Now let's join our host, Commissioner Director Douglas A. Albrecht.
Well, welcome back. It's not Jeff Ridgeway anymore, as you see. It's Diana Pitman, our BSN, RN, VSO, our Director of Veterans Affairs in Cumberland County. And if you saw our meeting on Tuesday night, Diana Pitman came to our meeting and made a nice pitch for something that is dear to her. But it's something we're geared up to do in the county, and I think it's important for people to know, especially since we're sitting in Millville, who's always supports the veterans so heavily. So go ahead.
No, I'm pretty excited about it. It's called Operation Greenlight. And I know the other night at the meeting I had everybody kind of repeat it, like, to get in that
Operation
mode.
Greenlight.
Yeah, Operation Greenlight. It's sort of like in the military when you get us going. Yeah, and you're going to see
where would
take this out.
Where did they pick that up? So you're going to explain.
I'll explain all that. So what is Operation Greenlight, right? So Operation Greenlight is nationwide, which is really cool. So it's not just our county. It would be cool to fly over the U.S. and see if it lights up green during this week.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
So it's actually co-sponsored by National Association of Counties and National Association of County Veteran Service Officers.
Okay.
And that's the organization that accredits us as VSOs so that we can do our job. So what this is about is to bring attention to our veterans and basically let them know that they're thought of, they're remembered, and that we're here to help them, okay? And I probably should preface it first because I talk like this, but I myself am a veteran. So this is my brothers and sisters that are part of this, and it's always my honor to help take care of them in my job.
I remember that because that's where Diana comes from, is that she understands, and that's where it all starts from.
It's my passion.
It's your passion.
It's my passion in life, getting out of the military, trying to find a job that, most people will tell you, sort of a love-hate relationship with the military, kind of like marriages, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to admit that, are you?
No.
So
I've been lucky. So
it sort of is that thing that the second you're out, you miss it, and you miss that camaraderie, you miss that thing. So this job has enabled me, because I'm working with vets all the time, that I really haven't left it a whole lot. So that's a good thing. So what Operation Greenlight does, it's basically it started in October here to do these public announcements, get people to understand what it is. But the actual Greenlight operation itself will be from November 6th through November 12th. Okay? And what they're asking for is for counties to light up their buildings in green. For businesses, individuals, yes. Okay. You probably can't see it real well. This is actually mine. I'm going to put it in my house.
Yeah.
To light up my porch, and there you go.
And that's a simple.
It's a green light.
Where did you get that?
You can get these Amazon. I hate to be that person, but they have, because they're actually cooperating with this too. So they actually have a whole page if you click on one of the links through this, and they have all kinds of things. So even if you don't want to buy a green light bulb, you can get covers to go over your lights that make them green. You get floodlights. You can do whatever.
It can be done. There's probably a lot of people have a lot of initiative. They can create something. That's actually what occurs there.
A spotlight. So that's what I want people to get creative, because we're doing this so veterans are remembered and acknowledged, but it also provides us an opportunity to educate our communities, educate the businesses and organizations as to what resources are there for veterans, what our office does, and how important these functions are. Because it's kind of hard. You say, okay, I work with veterans every day. Well, most people see our cemetery. We have a beautiful county cemetery. They know that we put wreaths out there Christmas time. We put flags up for November and Veterans Day, Memorial Day. We give out a military service medal.
But
there's this huge gap of what are we actually doing in that office sometimes, with files up to here. And that's where the Veteran Service Officer comes in. And one of the things that we do is we provide resources to our veterans. We try to hook them up. If it's something we can't do, we maintain a list. We try to get them to that. But then our main thing that we do is we work with them to process different types of federal benefits that they're eligible for, which would be service-connected disabilities, which would be non-service-connected pension for veterans who are in dire straits financially if they qualify, survivors pension, so it goes on and on.
It takes a while to work through any bureaucracy, and the military is a bureaucracy unlike many others that you have to be persistent, consistent. You got to dot the I's, cross the T's, and that's what you do. So if a veteran comes to you, you really got to get back to the bottom, where and sometimes build back up. As the gentleman the other day said, he didn't think he wasn't getting anything. How many years he was? 10, 15 years?
10 years for him, and I told you guys, from my own experience in one particular part of my claim, 12 years.
12 years.
So, it's not, they come in, we hand them some forms, they fill them out, and we send them for them. We basically do, I call it case management, because it's half medical, which is where, for me, the nursing comes in really handy, because that's what we're working on, is what medical conditions did you incur in the military that you still have problems with today. That's service-connected disability.
Where are you located at, anyway?
Okay, we are on the college campus, the Rowan College of South Jersey.
Which is right around the corner.
Yep, 3322 College Drive. We are in the Center for Workforce Development
and you
building.
See the sides all.
Yeah, and it's on there, and we're up on the second floor. But if you come to the lobby and tell them you're here to see us, they'll call us, and someone will come down.
There is buses to that campus, so if you need to get to, there's buses that you can hop on, New Jersey Transit, that you can get there. And hopefully in the future, more buses to get to that, so you get over there. Your staff, you're up to staff, right?
Yes. We're at the highest point that we've ever been, thanks to our commission board and administration understanding the importance of VSOs. I can tell you this: when I first started back in 2010, it was just me doing everything.
Wow.
And and it took a while, and it was education. It was helping to understand, look, this is what needs to be done, this is what it takes. So now we actually have 4 people that are accredited as VSOs. So we
awesome.
can cross work. Somebody can pick up the slack if somebody's
because they're on vacation or they get sick.
So we're really
that's good.
Because we were really behind the 8 ball for a little bit because we lost some staff. That happens. You get some attrition sometimes, and it was just really 2 of us, and we were and I'm trying to be director and do my director things, and it was like wow.
Well,
so we're good. We're doing great.
I know the commission board is very supportive. It's never the discussion of what you need, because if people always talk about there's a veteran problem, a homeless problem. Veterans, there's they may not be eating right. There's that's great to say. But the bottom line is that you got to get them to a VSO or to understand what, because the programs are there. You just got to have someone help work through if they're eligible for it, to work through it. That's what you guys do.
And it changes their lives. You heard that the other night when Veteran Scholl spoke, and the 2 letters that I read. Because I use myself as the example, like service connected. I tell people it's workman's comp for military. So if you got hurt in the military and you're still having trouble with it when you get out, like in my case, I couldn't really go back and physically do what I did in the military. Couldn't come into and so you lose income because you can't do or you can't work at all, or there's all these things that affect lives when you're trying to transition. And so service connected is one of our major ones, because if we can get that through and they get a rating and the VA compensates them on a monthly basis, now they're more financially stable, which goes back to they can eat right, they can all the things they can do right, they can pay their utilities, they can do and even if they can't do that, if they're really, really financially strapped, then we try to get non-service connected pension, which is based on income, but sometimes we can do that. So, we try to get these.
I just want to compliment you that recently, and I don't know how recently because time flies, I'll say 5-6 months ago, that abruptly a VSO at the Memorial Home left for whatever reason, I don't know, but as I found out, and I know many people know that you described that that VSO is working with this person for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, helping them, and then that person is gone.
Yeah.
Not only you still have issues that you're scrambling because now what? And I know because we talked about it, you were gearing up to say, all right, how can I do this? I knew this happened. Now I knew they're going to come our way, and it was Cumberland and Salem County working together, and gear up to say, all right, we can help. Come on over to us. We'll take care of it. To me, that's a proud moment as a commissioner that's what people you saw what needed to be done and you acted, which to me that speaks volumes about you, but speaks volumes that this county is willing and ready to go where we need to be. Now, part of this green light, is there another section to this thing?
There is, which talks about this because, which we know each other now a good while, and I prefer to be proactive, and that's the direction that I believe this county is trying to be in, and that's always better than reactive. So
99.9% of the time.
And the other thing we did is we actually went through all of our files, all of our Vietnam vet files, because hypertension was one of the things that was added just recently. And so we went back in and looked at files, people that I had been dealing with maybe from when I started.
Was that gentleman the other day? Remember that? Not the one
that was there, but the other two. Yes.
Okay.
So what we did is we contacted all of them to find out about their health status, and we took on an additional 20 plus claims by doing that.
Wow.
But we got them rolling so that now we can get the additional benefit for them. So it's lifetime. We stay right with them. So,
the green light has, and you're going to read off of, but it's another aspect about it that I would love to pursue, and I think it's an initiative that we are. Well, go ahead. You talk about it. And we'll go from there.
So one of the things that's kind of funny, because I've said this for a long time, that VSOs are in short supply. We are an anomaly in our county. Thank you very much for doing that for us. When I said to you I was it back in 2010, and I was it for many years as a VSO, and we have approximately 9,000 veterans in our county. So it was myself, it was the guy from the state, and intermittently you get one here or there from somewhere else. Now figure that out. Not all 9,000 are going for benefits, but at the same time, you start to see what our caseload starts to get like. And so one of the things that as a county, it's like who's gonna finance this? Who's gonna get these VSOs in here so we can?
Which is always a question.
Always a question, right? You have to. We're just talking to Jeff. I have a budget hearing coming up very shortly, so.
But it is a priority.
So it is a priority. But one of the things that evidently this had been introduced once before, and they are reintroducing it in Congress, I believe. It's called the Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach Act, H.R. 948. And it's been
H.R. 948.
948. Yes, and it was reintroduced in the 118th Congress, and it would offer federal funding to county VSOs for the first time, and also give grants for expand and support VSOs. So if you had a county that was having difficulty being able to hire or whatever, this
is tough,
right? Okay, and resources, because yes, because the training is extensive. You can't bring, I have 2 VSOs that have been at the job about 6 months, and they're accredited now. And you think, okay, but it's sort of like when you get your driver's license. You got the license, but how many years does it take for you to really get
comfortable?
Sort of the same thing, because there's just so many variables to it. So this bill is really, really important. That's one of the things that Operation Greenlight is trying to get the word out, so that our local municipalities, our counties, our governor, our congressmen, our senators can really, send in letters supporting, saying, hey, we really need this because we need more help accessing and giving the care that we need to our vets.
So that's why we mentioned, you're going to mention again that right, our local congressman, because the bottom line is that if you want to help veterans, this is really, the programs are set up.
Yeah,
it's to get them to get to the right place, they need guidance. And I've always been big about, I call it the ombudsman program. And this one reminds me of that government sometimes is very complicated, and people need to see a friendly face as they're walking through the process. They need a guide, a person to guide, and that's what you are. You're a guide through the maze of the federal government, and if you had that guide, you could then get them taken care of, to get the veteran the help that he needs, or the things to take care of, what he's entitled to, she is entitled to, which is what you do.
Yeah, we just had a homeless vet that was calling us, living in his car, and we don't in our office have resources to give him a hotel for the night or whatever. We had given him some options that weren't working out, and so that's what I love about my staff and myself, that we will go that extra mile. So we kept making calls, and Veterans Haven in Winslow Township is a program for homeless veterans, and this guy had some health problems, so we have one in Winslow, and they weren't able to take him for various reasons, and we just kept at it, and we got him into Veterans Haven North.
Well,
so you get a vet off the street, and in the meantime, we're working on a case for him to try to get service-connected disability and get these benefits, which take a while, but at least now we know he's stabilized, he's got an address, he's in a home, and we can keep working with him, and hopefully, when he gets benefits given to him, then he'll be able to move out on his own again and be self-sufficient.
That's great. I'll just say this, we're going to wrap it up for today, because I think we hit every point, which is good, and I appreciate you coming on over. Diana Pitman, our VSO, for our Director of Veterans Affairs at Cumberland County, and I thank you for coming on over.
Green light, man. Operation Green Light.
Put a green bulb in your lampshade of the
November 6th to November 12th. Get those green lights turned on, and let our veterans know that they're remembered, they're appreciated, and we're here for them.
That's good. Thank you, and have a good next spotlight. We advertise, and then the next person will ask to come on. But thank you. All right.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you,
Take
Doug.
care.
Thank you.
See you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.